Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to welcome you to the commencement ceremony for the Green Mountain Union High School class of 2020. I want to start by thanking all of you here, including those who are watching from home, for the remarkable way that everyone has pitched in and adapted to the difficulties surrounding these last few weeks in general, and this ceremony in particular. I know it's been incredibly distressing not to have everything the way it's been in the past, and distressing to be unable to gather together in the way you would all like. So many of you have been so patient and supportive, working with us to find solutions that balance all of the competing needs. I cannot thank you all enough for your many kind words, generous hearts, and team spirit. So, here we are. We're conducting this graduation ceremony in an extraordinary and unique way, and you are truly an extraordinary and unique class. Your Green Mountain experience has included many challenges: reorganization of the school district, in the introduction of proficiency-based education and grading, a new principal halfway through your high school experience, sharing space with Chester Andover Elementary School for half of your junior year, facing threats of violence and evacuation within the school last spring. And now, just for a change of pace, a pandemic. You are a truly resilient group. You face these extraordinary challenges with extraordinary hope, with a positive attitude, and with determination to be the change you want to see in the world. That's not just talk from all of you. You have been passionate in your support of making change happen. You've organized, participated in rallies to protest climate change, and most recently, you have led protests to address issues of race and social justice, issues that must be addressed in all of our institutions, including our schools. You've been committed to leading action to make our town, our state, our country, and our world a better place, a place of fairness and of equity. I am so proud of your commitment and your passion, so proud of your willingness to take risks and be bold to stand up for what you believe, even when others don't believe the same thing. All of the Green Mountain staff, the teachers, the administrators, are proud of you and your accomplishments, of your willingness to step up, take action on difficult issues, of your ability to work and learn in a consistently changing environment. We all look forward to hearing of the joy and the change you'll bring to the world. Thank you. Our process today is this. I'm finally going to stop talking in a moment, and I'm going to turn the podium over to our class speaker. After that, our senior class advisors, Becky Bushy and Brett Mastrangelo, will introduce each graduate. We have 7 top academic students this year: Olivia Bernier, Cameron Cummings, Laurel King, Zoe Sveck, Riley Thomas, Maddie Wilson, and Ange Wonderly. When they are called up, they will be giving a short speech. As each of our seniors rejoins their family after picking up their diploma, Meg Powden, our superintendent, will invite them to move their tassels from right to left to signify that they've officially graduated. Students and families will then return to their vehicles, and the next senior will step up. So again, to the class of 2020, congratulations on your achievement, congratulations to your families, and it's my pleasure now to introduce this year's class speaker, Ashley Carafiello.
On May 8th, I was surprised to read an email indicating that the senior class voted for me to be their commencement speaker. A large smile fell upon my face, and I immediately marked the email as unread, savoring the significance. I have to admit, I promptly returned to the email and replied to Mrs. Bushy that I would graciously accept the offer to provide today's remarks. I wanted to make sure I responded sooner rather than later, as I was certain that a mistake had been made. After all, we have been under some stressful circumstances. It wasn't until the requests for first drafts, subtle references, inquiries of progress that filtered in on a more regular basis that I realized I better get to work, and quickly. I watched YouTube videos on famous graduation speeches. Did you know everyone is delivering speeches in honor of the class of 2020? Oprah, Obama, Ellen, even Miley Cyrus. How can I compete with Miley Cyrus? What message would empower the beautiful humans sitting in front of me? Well, maybe not directly in front of me. I found myself diving headfirst into TikTok, as this made the most logical sense. And I can honestly say that had it not been for this offer, I don't believe I would have ever perfected my Magic in the Hamptons, Savage, Kono, the Kick Drop, and a few additional dances that can be found with the proper search terms and skills. After about 150 hours of TikToking, I turned to my content specialty, history, and began investigating historical figures. Who would and who could connect to the class of 2020? I realized it is you that has provided the most perfect inspiration, and you always have. After all, this is the class of state champions, advocates for the environment, proponents of equal rights, and challengers to social inequality. You are a class of athletes, activists, musicians, artists, dancers, hunters, mechanics, and entrepreneurs. Collectively, you have survived the loss of parents, a peer, car accidents, and more car accidents, cancer, peanut allergies, asthma, love, and proficiency grading. You are the generation of Amazon Prime 2-day shipping, Snapchat, Instagram, iPhones, the hashtag #MeToo, the 99%ers, and the Black Lives Matter movements. School shootings, hurricanes and earthquakes, the post-9/11 babies, and most recently, the coronavirus pandemic. Did I also mention proficiency-based grading? Emotionally and physically, you have overcome hunger, anxiety, and mental illness, time and time again, to demonstrate your resilience. You have already learned to navigate a world that has flipped upside down in the last 4 months. You can see now why you are an inspiration to everyone who has met you. So after all of that, my advice this afternoon are the exact words of wisdom that I share with my daughter, Quinn, each and every day. It is a simple phrase, a phrase that many of you have been practicing, but maybe you did not know it. I hope that this afternoon you hear it. Be fierce, be brave, be mighty, but most importantly, be kind. Be fierce. Take an aggressive approach to what you want out of life. Continue to demand to be seen, heard, listen to others, and embrace the silence of reflection. When you are fierce, you respect yourself, you support others, you advocate for change, and you address the needs for the greater good. Go boldly into this world. It was this fierce attitude that brought Muhammad Ali to refuse the call of the draft during the Vietnam War, which led Malala to defy the terrorists in her country. I have seen this fierceness inside each and every one of you. I have seen you compete in Hungry Hippos, face the challenges of AP classes, driving license exams, and significant others. You have tackled these challenges with fierceness. Continue to be fierce. Be brave. There are moments to come where the pain of taking the next step will be too much. I implore you to be confident. I ask that you face these obstacles with courage in your heart and determination on your face. Just as Todd Beamer, a passenger on Flight 93 on 9/11, bravely stood up and courageously worked with others to take control of the plane from the terrorists who recently hijacked it. Irina Sendler snuck into the Warsaw Ghetto, pretending to be a nurse in order to rescue over 3,000 Jewish children from the hands of their Nazi attackers. And when Sendler was arrested and tortured by the Nazis, she remained quiet, defying their brutal attempts to gain information from her. While these are extreme examples of bravery, there are local examples all around you. There are members of the class of 2020 that came every day to school, even on the days you didn't want to. You got up against the odds of not having hot water, heat, or food, and you came. You walked into this building with an understanding this was your time to be safe and to be loved. Continue to be brave. Be mighty. Fill your mind and body with impressive power and strength. Alice Paul, a woman suffragist, demonstrated power and strength as she led hunger strikes after being arrested while picketing President suffrage for women. I ask that you channel this same power and strength in the next adventures that will bring you face to face with those who don't know you or your past. Some will challenge your strength and try to take your power. They will attempt to make you feel inferior. Remember your GM community that provided you opportunities to show your strength. Remember the local community that supported you. Remember your families and friends who were there to hold you up. We may not always be with you on this next adventure, but we are behind you, and we continue to believe in you. We will fuel your strength until you no longer need us, for fueling your mightiness has brought great joy to our lives. Continue to be mighty. Lastly, be kind. I am sure I have said this to each and every one of you as you have left my classroom, and I always giggled when I heard, "I'll try." Do I have to? Like to everyone? But it's so hard. Yes, try. Try and be kind to yourself and to others. One of my favorite sayings is, "You never know what people are going through, so be kind." Mae Perry risked her life during the Holocaust to provide for Anne Frank and her family. Through her act of kindness, she was able to save Frank's diary, which has allowed the world into the insight of Jewish refugees. Yes, you have to be kind. Your gesture of kindness can change a person's day. Holding the door, smiling, saying hello, these small gestures show others that you see them, you value them, and you respect them. Harriet Tubman realized that through acts of kindness, she herself was saved. While Tubman could have embraced her newfound freedom without turning back, she returned to save others, and through this act of kindness, she was able to change their lives. And yes, you have to be kind to everyone. Being kind makes you feel good about yourself. It improves your community, and there is some scientific evidence out there that says it changes your brain. Locally, the organizers of the Chester Helping Hands have worked during the coronavirus to spread kindness to all community members. They have offered meals, entertainment, support to local businesses, and most importantly, hope. Yes, being kind can be difficult, especially when it comes to being kind to yourself. We are often our own worst critics. I request that you give those negative words the time and space they need, but do not let them consume you. Continue to be kind. I ask that every day you say to yourself, be fierce, be brave, be mighty, but most importantly, be kind. Because you have already followed this philosophy, and you have changed this world. Members of the class of 2020, you have demonstrated fierceness as you ventured to college a year early, championed your voice through student government, implemented a composting program at GM, and refused to quit. Continue to be brave, for this is a class that has stood by each other when faced with the trauma of loss and a fear of uncertainty. Continue to be mighty. You are the class that has not accepted the answer that it is the way it is. You have challenged, you have won, and at times you have lost. Lastly, continue to be kind. This is a class that has extended a hand in the time of need, words of encouragement, and this honest truth, even when it wasn't wanted. Today marks an opportunity to start a new chapter of change. While this is a time of scary uncertainty, remember to be fierce, to be mighty, to be brave, and most importantly, to be kind. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
Welcome to all friends, family, and graduates of the class of 2020. I am Becky Bushy, the 7th grade math teacher here at Green Mountain, and a very proud class advisor.
And I'm Brett Mastrangelo, the 8th grade class advisor and science teacher at Green Mountain. There are 2 announcements that we'd like to make on behalf of the graduating class. First, for the 2020 class gift, the students have decided to leave a monetary donation to help fund new bleachers out by the soccer and baseball field. These will be installed at a later date.
At Senior Awards Night last week, the class of 2020 awarded their pick for this year's Golden Apple Award. They chose Marie Terrell for her kind actions, dedication to this school, and help at all hours of the day and night supporting school activities and students. Those of you who know Marie know just how hard she works. Let's show our appreciation for her now.
In the fall of 2016, at a faculty meeting, then Principal Tom Ferentz announced that the class of 2020, the freshmen at the time, were in need of a class advisor. Since the stipend is enormous, everyone volunteered and jumped at it and wanted to take the job. Okay, not really, but in truth, there were crickets in the room and no one volunteered.
And what I remember is right after that meeting, you actually came to my room and you said, hey, seriously, do you want to do this? These are really great kids. And I remember really clearly saying no. And then again he asked, and again I said no.
I remember that repetition. I remember you saying that, but I'm really glad eventually that you said yes, because it has been such a pleasure to advise this class the last 4 years.
It's been a lot of work advising this class and Mr. M at the same time, but it's been worth it. I can't believe how rewarding it has been for me to work closely with all these students. I love that the students still come back to us. They ask us questions and they check in. This bond continuing after middle school is both special and rare. We actually didn't choose to advise this class simply because of a role that needed to be filled within the school, but rather that we can speak to the character that this class exudes. I remember when this class was just about wee little 7th graders back when all the boys were still shorter than me, or at least most of them. We started an advisory program in middle school, and I remember really clearly a couple weeks into the school year I was taking attendance, and a student said out loud, oh, that student misses school a lot. And before I could even respond, this itty-bitty little blonde thing who is like no bigger than this spoke up to the group and said, I actually feel really uncomfortable that we're talking about somebody who isn't here. We actually don't know everybody's home life. And all 12 of my advisees looked around and shook their heads and said, oh yeah, you're right. And at that moment, I knew this class was special. It was way bigger than the actions of one person standing up for what was right, but rather the response of a group listening and acting in kindness that made me know for sure.
And kindness is just one characteristic that this diverse class contains. The class of 2020 includes dancers, musicians, athletes, actors, artists, entrepreneurs, early graduates, mechanics, outdoors men and women. Students in this class fly airplanes, drive race cars, and kick cancer's butt. This class challenges each other with its range of conservative and liberal views, creating conversation for change. They have attended protests, never accepting the status quo. From here, our students will attend colleges and universities, trade schools, join the workforce, and even the military.
They have dreamt big and taken actions on their goals. Students from this class have created and produced the Green and Gold, the new and current school newspaper. They were tired of traditional fundraisers, so they brainstormed, and within a matter of meetings, they had created the first ever middle school lock-in, an event that pulled together their class and that doesn't just raise money, but has this theme: we are here to serve middle school students tonight. The memories from this event are beyond explanation, with inside jokes, flooding toilet videos, overuse of the school intercom, and laughter. This class came together to not just host this event and donate and participate, but to run other activities, sponsor a queer prom, and pull off an epic prom that no one thought was possible, turning the base lodge at Okemo Mountain into a stunning Great Gatsby event. This class chose to break away from electing even traditional president, class president, vice president, secretary roles, and chose to work together as a team of 6 co-presidents to get more done. The class of 2020 knows what it means to work together, which is evidenced by bringing home not just 1, but 3 state championships to Green Mountain.
Saying goodbye to this class is really tough for both of us, and it'll be tough for the school and this community. This school is a better place because this class was here, because these individuals were here. They challenged us to be better. And unfortunately, it would be selfish of us to ask them to stay. So instead, class of 2020, we urge you to move forward and challenge your future community with the same tenacity as you challenge this one. With that, let's announce the graduates of 2020. Olivia Helen Bernier. Olivia is from Andover and is the daughter of Meg Minahan and Chris Bernier. Olivia is co-president of her class, a member of the track, cross-country, and rock climbing teams, president of the environmental club, and is a member of the National Honor Society. Olivia is one of our outstanding academic achievement students and will now address the class.
When I first came to Green Mountain as a 10th grader, finally accepting that my Hogwarts letter wouldn't be arriving, I was shy, nervous, and to be honest, quite a bit terrified. On my first day of high school, barely knowing anyone, someone invited me to sit with them during lunch. This simple gesture of kindness was the first of many, creating for me an environment in which I felt confident enough to be myself and respected for who I was. The past 3 years, I have gotten to know some truly wonderful people, teachers and classmates alike. I am thankful that people saw me, not as the shy new girl, but as the strong and brave person I have the potential to become. Mr. Garvin and Mr. Bate, every time you sang the Olivia song, I felt like my life could be as happy and spirited as the cartoon characters. My teachers, coaches, and friends at Green Mountain have challenged me to become a critical learner and a more well-rounded human being. You have lifted me with your honesty, inspiring me to become the best possible version of myself. A few months ago, our time at Green Mountain came to an unexpected close. So how do we move forward, given the difficulty of navigating a world in distress? I was lucky enough that my high school experience was one filled with people who were caring and patient. People were kind to me. I felt safe and respected at Green Mountain, and above all, I felt like my voice mattered. It has become apparent in our nation that too many people feel unsafe in their communities. Too many people do not have a voice that is heard, and too many will suffer from the effects of climate change, even though they have contributed the least. As the class of 2020 emerges as the newest generation of adults in our society, I ask you, as a fellow graduate, to think about the choice you have, because no matter who you are, we all have this choice. We can choose to be kind, and we can choose to do the work needed to create a more just and sustainable future. One of my favorite authors, Cheryl Strayed, says, "You get to define the terms of your life." This is true. Class of 2020, it is up to us to change the course of the future. You may not think you can change the world, and you may be right, but you can change the way you interact with the world around you. The ability to be tolerant is not determined by a political party. Kindness is not dictated by religious affiliation. Perseverance and resilience and empathy are not earned by a college degree. These are qualities you have to discover for yourself. Though it is necessary to be kind, it is equally as important to stand up and fight for a world where everyone feels respected, safe, and heard. Class of 2020, I hope you will join me in becoming the kind, compassionate fighters this world needs. Thank you.
Olivia will be attending St. Lawrence University to pursue a degree in conservation biology and continue running cross country.
Cameron Alexander Cummings. Cam resides in Chester, is the son of Angela Hurd and John Cummings. Cam is co-president of his class, a member of the National Honor Society, Circle, and has participated in Green Mountain's Iron Chef. Cam is one of our outstanding academic achievement students and will now address the class.
During these unprecedented times is a phrase we've all heard too many times today. But it's fitting, because this is an unprecedented moment. Oh my God. Already crying. Because this is an unprecedented moment in history, not solely because of coronavirus, but also because the GM class of 2020 is graduating. I distinctly remember back in first grade, when we were assigned our computer passwords, which were our initials followed by the numbers 2020. We all wondered for a while what those numbers meant, until we realized one day that it was the year we graduated. The number seemed so big, arbitrary, and distant that none of us even realized it was a year yet. Yet 12 years later, here I am, standing on the stage to graduate. On the note of talking about our past selves, I always wonder whether my younger self would be proud of who I am today. Hopefully he'd be proud of me for all the hard work I've put into school and sports, for having the courage to come out as gay, and even for being able to give this speech today. Yet, on the other hand, he would also be quite disappointed to learn I'm not on my way to becoming a meteorologist with a cat named Carl. That was so ugly, I'm sorry. You'd be quite disappointed to learn I'm not on my way to becoming a meteorologist with a cat named Carl. So maybe I shouldn't have placed so much credibility to the thoughts of younger Cameron to begin with. But anyway, enough about me and my hypercritical middle school self. During the past 6 years, I've had the opportunity to grow alongside all my classmates here. Well, except Ange, she's still the same height. But no, in all seriousness, looking back at who we all were back in middle school, we should be extremely proud of how far we've come and how much we've accomplished as a class. Whether it was organizing the lock-in, selling fried dough, or coordinating prom, this class always pulled through in the end with the help of some awesome class advisors to create something truly spectacular and amazing. No matter how precarious it may have looked during the process, and trust me, it was a little scary at times, it would always come together in the end. I think that's an important sentiment in life, now more than ever. In the moments where everything seems chaotic and unmanageable, you have to keep working towards your goal, because with grit and determination, it will all come together in the very end. And I think this class embodies that lesson better than any other. The GM class of 2020 is undoubtedly unforgettable. We are a class full of athletes, artists, activists, actors, actresses, brainiacs, builders, writers, and even mechanics. And that's just scratching the surface. We are certainly one for the history books in more ways than one. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2020.
Cameron will be attending Binghamton University in the fall as an honors student to study biology while doing research in molecular and biomedical anthropology.
Laurel Eliza King. Laurel resides in Chester and is the daughter of Carrie and Gary King. Laurel is on the cross-country and track teams, president of Interact, and co-president of her senior class. She is a member of the National Honor Society and our student representative for the Green Mountain Union High School School Board. Laurel is an outstanding academic achievement student and now will address her class.
As I stand here today, looking out at my friends and family watching from their individual cars, it is impossible not to be reminded of all that is going on in the world right now. A world we are about to enter as adults for the first time. We aren't doing it alone, though. We have the support of our families, our teachers, our community, and especially each other. This is not the graduation we pictured, but it is a testament to the strength and camaraderie our class embodies. While so much has been taken from us during our senior year, that's not what I will remember about this class. We have not stopped dreaming or working hard, even amidst an unknown future. More than anything else, our class of 2020 embodies hope. To hope is to gamble. It is to bet on the future. To bet on the possibility that an open heart and uncertainty are better perspectives than gloom and anguish. To hope is dangerous, yet it is the opposite of despair. I say this to you now because hope is not a lottery ticket you can sit on the sofa and clutch, feeling lucky. Hope is like an axe you break down doors with during an emergency. Anything could happen in our lives, and whether we act or not has everything to do with it. Hope means another world might be possible. Not promised, not guaranteed. Hope calls for action. Believe me when I tell you our class will change the world for the better. I want to end with a passage from my classmates from the writer Cheryl Strayed, a woman whose words have inspired me for years. You don't have to get a job that makes others feel comfortable with what they perceive as your success. You don't have to explain what you plan to do with your life. You don't have to justify your education by demonstrating its financial rewards. You don't have to maintain an impeccable credit score. Anyone who expects you to do any of these things has no sense of history or economics or science or the arts. You have to pay your own electric bill. You have to be kind. You have to give it all you've got. But that's all. Losing the last third of our senior year to a pandemic was not what we had planned, but it's an experience we will always share. Now, as you step into adulthood, there will be harder challenges to overcome. Whether you plan to go to college, trade school, the military, or straight into the workforce, there is no denying that society will gain something worthwhile by your participation. The world needs us right now. Class of 2020, good luck in all of your future endeavors. Don't forget, I am only a Zoom call away. Go Cats! Thank you.
Laurel will be attending the University of Vermont to study political science and international law.
Brian Wonderly. Ange resides in Chester and is the daughter of Jana Bryan and Scott Wonderly. Ange is co-president of her class, a member of the National Honor Society, participated in Iron Chef, was Green Mountain's Hobie ambassador, and has been a math peer tutor. Ange is an outstanding academic achievement student and will now address her senior class.
I suck at goodbyes. Ah! No!
I'll get it. You said it.
Whoa, thanks, Miss Ram. Okay. Oh, funny. Okay. I suck at goodbyes. So instead of seeing today as an end, I would like to think of it as a moment to recognize all the people who have shaped us into who we are. I could tell you exactly what I was wearing on the first day of 7th grade, and I could tell you exactly what I told Miss Surma when we filmed the videos about our future. And while I'm not going off to become a National Geographic photographer and the end of my hair is no longer pink, it reminds me of how much I have grown and how much our class has grown. Think about who you were on that first day of 7th grade. Finding your locker and seeing who is next to you, trying to understand how a lock works, and maybe even trying to fit inside your locker. Think about being told the only staircase you could use was the middle one, and that you had to sit on the right side of the cafeteria. It's these things, the little things, which never seem important, that allow us to reflect on how much we've changed. This year, I'm sure most of us were just using the first staircase to get up to the library and leaving for lunch as soon as we could. There have been so many people in our lives that have provided support and encouragement, helping us to get onto this stage today. Take a moment, think about all of the people who have helped you grow, and thank them. Thank your friends, your families, and the people who pushed you farther than you thought possible. Continue to thank these people, as I'm sure they will continue to aid you in your journey. It is crazy how quickly life can change and how many moments pass right by us. As you explore your future, pay attention to the little things, spend time in the moment, and enjoy life before your journey changes again. And never forget the memories that make you who you are. I would like to personally thank all of the people who have been a part of my life, but especially the members of Green Mountain's class of 2020, for creating wonderful memories and shaping me into the person I am today.
Ange will be attending Drew University in the fall. She will be pursuing a major in mathematics and a minor in dance. Ange has been accepted into both Drew's Baldwin Honors Program and Action Scholars Program.
Riley Thomas. Riley resides in Chester with her parents Lisa Roberts and Mark Thomas. Riley co-founded the school newspaper, The Green and Gold, is a member of Interact, National Honor Society, and participated in our spring musicals and is on the indoor and outdoor track teams. Riley has studied abroad with the Experimental and International Living. Riley is one of our outstanding academic achievement students and will be addressing the class at this time.
Thanks. I must admit that I have imagined this day many times in my past 6 years spent at Green Mountain. Staring out the classroom window on a sunny afternoon when I so longed to be done with high school, I wondered exactly how I will say goodbye to the people who have made me who I am. This scene in my head has always been picturesque. Grad caps flying in the wind, a row of hands shaken, and a knockout speech that leaves the crowd in tears. Well, class of 2020, we've done it. We're here to celebrate and to say thank you and goodbye. But the circumstances of graduating during a global pandemic were entirely unimaginable. And with that being said, the stories I had once considered reminiscing about today no longer feel quite so important. That's not to say that we should ever forget our 7th grade semi-formal, how we all crept towards the center of the gym when snowballed with our #1 crush and danced awkwardly a little too far apart under twinkling lights. But speaking to you now, a mile away in your car, or even farther away in your homes, it is clear that there is nothing normal about our senior year. Yes, we will walk this stage like classes have done for decades before ours, but in an entirely different fashion. We are not celebrating to get next to one another today. I will not be running to hug each and every one of you immediately following the ceremony, as I so wish that I could. The coronavirus has altered a normally predictable series of events for our class. We have had to abandon the traditions that graduating classes have followed for decades before ours, and yes, it absolutely hurts. But my friends, today I'm going to request that we consider this to be something far greater than a failed senior year. If we must be the first class to graduate during a global pandemic and under such not normal circumstances, perhaps we must also be the first class to not simply accept much of what has become normal in our society. COVID-19 has not taken away the fact that we are now adults entering workplaces, universities, and new communities. For those before us, it has been status quo to enter these institutions blindly following the pre-established rules and figures of authority. It is scary to enter a new place and to see things that you don't agree with, but feel too frightened or intimidated or unimportant to speak up. However, right now, we are living through one of the most frightening times, and with that, we are graduating with a new knowledge of how to adapt. Do not let this ability fade when a vaccine is discovered and life returns to normal. Maybe the old normal should not be ours. I am talking about our generation's responsibility to address the years of systemic racism that has plagued America. A flawed prison system, wage gaps, detainment centers, and inability to access healthcare, education, and housing. So much inequality, hatred, and injustice has become normalized, and I don't see why we should just accept that. I know the kindness in all of you. I have seen it even when picking on one another in the lunchroom. How could you find complacency knowing your neighbor, your friend, and your families are suffering? And so, my dearest classmates, I thank you for proving during these past couple of months of just how courageous you are. Your commitment to still graduate, to follow dreams, even new dreams, under such uncertainty is a credit to your bravery and to your strength. Let's hold on to that. We have proven ourselves, and it is our right to make this society one in which we can all participate equally. That is my thank you, but today I will not extend a goodbye, because I look forward to continuing to work with all of you in creating a more just society. Thank you.
Riley will be attending the University of Vermont and majoring in global studies. She anticipates joining the Peace Corps and working with other international nonprofit organizations.
Magali Itzel Stoll Alaman. Magali will be attending the University of Vermont to pursue her interest in sustainable development.
Zoe Milena Svek. Zoe resides in Chester with her parents Wendy and Jeff Svek. Zoe is an editor of The Green and Gold, a member of the National Honor Society and Interact, and participated on the rock climbing, cross-country, track, and soccer teams. Zoe is one of our outstanding academic achievement students and will be addressing the class.
Good afternoon. It's nice to see those of us who are gathered here and knowing that there are more watching at home. My class and I have gone through significant changes during our time together at Green Mountain. However, we have always figured things out with the help of our friends, family, and the faculty. My personal experience was no different, albeit my path may have been untraditional at times, whether it was additional online classes, an independent study, academic summer institutes, programs abroad, or my dual enrollment at Dartmouth College this year. I have always had support to seek an education beyond the classrooms in this building right here. As I move on to Duke University this fall, I will remember those community members that recognized and supported my achievements and who have helped me on my own unique journey. To the rest of my class, I hope that there are always people to support you, and I wish you all the best of luck for whatever comes next. Thank you.
Zoe will be attending Duke University in the fall and plans to major in statistical science.
Jacqueline, Antoinette, Parker Jennings. Jackie will be taking a gap year to further explore her passions.
Madison Riley Wilson. Maddie lives in Chester with her parents Amber and Matthew Wilson. Maddie is co-president for her class, a member of the National Honor Society, and a 3-season athlete competing in soccer, basketball, and softball all 4 years. Maddie is an outstanding academic achievement student and will be addressing the senior class at this time.
I've had so many dreams about this day, and I can honestly say that this was never in any of those. However, this is such a unique ceremony that I'm fairly certain no other graduating class will get to experience. Over the past year, I've imagined walking up those stairs, waiting behind the tree, shaking the principal's hand, getting my diploma, and then finally trying not to make a fool of myself by tripping down those front steps. And if I'm lucky, that last imagination won't come true. It seems like just yesterday, I was walking in the front doors for the very first time. It feels like I was just racing past the scary high schoolers to get to my safe space that was Mrs. Bushy's room. Now look at me. I'm one of those scary, but not really scary high schoolers. And what's hard to comprehend is that in just a few short minutes, I won't be anymore. It's crazy how time flies. If there are any incoming 7th graders that are watching this from home right now, take my advice and live it up. You're going to blink, and then you'll be standing right where I am, hopefully with a bigger crowd. I want to thank the amazing educators that have shaped me into the young woman I am today. I want to personally thank Mrs. Bushy and Mr. M for stepping up and taking on the role as our class advisors. We truly could not have made it without you guys. And I want to thank Patty Rumroll for not getting annoyed with me for all my scholarship questions this year. I want to thank Mrs. Carafiello for making sure we always had family fun time and advisory, when we showed up, of course. I want to thank Mrs. Para for pushing me and making sure I didn't give up during AP Calculus, and I want to thank Todd for helping me on my athletic journey through these years and being my friend. These two have a special place in my heart, and I knew I didn't want to graduate without them being here. So Todd and Julie, thank you for being here with me today. There is one person who couldn't be here tonight, and it breaks my heart that he couldn't make it, but I know he would give anything to be here right now. To my boyfriend, Private Robert Bedard, United States Marine Corps, thank you for supporting me through everything and going on adventures with me. Thank you for being by my side through everything, even if you are all the way across the country. Let's continue the thanking, shall we? Thank you to my parents, who have pushed me to strive for my goals and only be content with my very best. Daddy, thank you for introducing me into softball. Thank you for being my coach in and out of season. Thank you for teaching me leadership, confidence, and perseverance. Without you, I wouldn't be about to live out my dream of playing college softball. Home team forever, Daddy. Mama, thank you for teaching me to be a strong, independent woman. Thank you for teaching me how to stand up for what I believe in and keep fighting to the bitter end. Thank you for being a shoulder to cry on whenever I needed you, and as much as I complained and whined about it, thank you for hounding on me to get all my scholarship applications and essays done. To my fellow graduates, we made it. It was a bumpy road and it got a bit more rocky towards the end, but nonetheless, we persevered. We are making history and we're doing it with smiles on our faces. The class of 2020 is going to continue making history. Congratulations to us.
Maddie will be attending Castleton University, where she will major in physical and health education. While at Castleton, she will play softball for the Spartans. She hopes to return to Green Mountain as a future educator.
Chase will be attending River Valley Community College in the fall, working towards a degree in information technology. Michael David McCann Jr. Mike will be taking a gap year to join the workforce and spend time with friends. Thatcher will be serving his country in the United States Air Force for the next 6 years.
Jacob Reed Thomas. Jacob will be attending the University of Vermont in the fall and plans to major in marketing.
James Anderson. James will be attending Boston College in the fall, pursuing a degree in engineering.
Keegan George Temple. Keegan will be continuing his employment at Goodman's American Pie. Kaylin Francis Williams. Kaylin plans to further her education in the medical field, concentrating in respiratory therapy.
Enrita Deviayu Tunjun Beru. Tunjun will be going back to Indonesia to retake her senior year and prepare for college in the United States.
Tiara McLean. Tiara will be attending Keene State College in the fall and plans to major in psychology. Mary Alice Churchill. Mary will be earning her esthetician's license. She plans to work in spas and travel.
Ozzy will be attending Russell Sage College, pursuing a degree in creative arts therapy. Life experiences will guide her in new and unexpected directions, just as they always have. Nonetheless, she will paint through it all, documenting her life and sharing openly with all. Mae Perry. Anna will be continuing her journey in North Carolina. Lucy H. Applegate. Lucy plans to attend film school and later study cryptozoology.
Raven Marie Stalker. Raven will continue to pursue her acting and singing skills with goals of being on Broadway. She'll be attending Northern Vermont University Johnson campus.
University to pursue an undergraduate degree in criminal justice and then continue her education to obtain a Juris Doctorate in law.
Gary Gaudette, Jr. Gary will be attending the Hartford Art School to study arts and ceramic. Cameron C. Ravlin. Cameron will be working in the fall and plans to attend art or film school in the future.
Toby will be polishing and practicing his writing at the Community College of Vermont.
Johnny A.T. Sawyer. Johnny will be attending animation classes at the University of Vermont in the fall.
Austin will be starting a new job at Rug Valley Landscaping and will continue pursuing his goals in racing.
Nicholas Ryan Davis. Nick will be continuing to work full-time in property maintenance at Okemo's Winter Place condominiums.
Continuing his education to become a certified diesel technician.
David Amir Reese. David will continue applying to police departments with hopes to be accepted into the Vermont Police Academy in February. On his own time, David will continue developing skills in a variety of trades, including welding, auto mechanics, and carpentry.
Eric will be joining the workforce with plans to become certified as a diesel technician.
Devin James Brown. Devin will be joining the workforce.
Alexander Waylon Ehab Bechet. Alex will be attending the University of Vermont to study music. He plans to lead his own touring band and become a professor of music in the future.
Mika Seri Hance. Mika will be attending Pensacola Christian College, majoring in pre-med and planning to become a physician's assistant. Lindsay R. Strudavant. Upon receiving her LNA, Lindsay plans to apply to Dartmouth Medical Center and eventually become a pediatric oncology nurse as a way to give back the gifts that were given when she was a patient.
Keegan will be attending the Community College of Vermont to pursue a degree in human services.
The following members of the class of 2020 were unable to attend in person: Jacob Knight, Isaiah Terrell, Allison Quayle, Cody Pepin-Parent, and Alexis Palmer. Congratulations to the whole class of 2020.
We are now at the end of our ceremony. Thank you all for joining us. On behalf of the faculty and staff of Green Mountain Union High School, I want to congratulate the class of 2020 for not only your accomplishments, but for your passion and your resiliency. You are an amazing group of individuals. We wish you all the best and want you all to always believe not only in the power of your dreams, but the power of your voice. Thank you, good evening, and be safe.